Welcome to Keith and the Girl. I'm Keith Malley.
And I'm Chris.
Hey, Chris. You know Chris, Diamond Dogs Chris. Chris, the producer on Five on it. Good to see you. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well. I'm happy to be here.
You recently visited the gang of Five on it, Mallory and Craig in L.A.
I
Uh,
did. I did. I couldn't let you be the only one getting, travel in. You kept bragging about it. I'm going out of town. I'm going out of town. And I was like, I want a taste of that. I want to see what that's like.
did you go out there specifically to see them, set things up?
Yeah. Yep. So we had been doing some round of shows we've done a mix of we're there in person together doing shows, or sometimes we do the show fully remote where everyone's in different locations. And so this last couple of weeks has been a live in LA series. And so the first week they had this great set, and but I think it was a big lift doing all that live production on site. And so partially selfishly because I just wanted to go and be with the crew and see my friends, but also partially because I was like, I think if we're all together, we can make this happen a little
Craig,
bit.
Craig's funny when he gets flustered on the show. Do you notice this? He puts the mic away from his mouth and then sits like he's watching a show. Like, oh, I bit off more than I could chew. Let me just see. What do you guys want to talk about?
Yeah.
I,
Yeah. He loves to, yeah,
I own
lay back, lounge back. It's the whole vibe of the show.
right.
We want it to feel, we're up until 3 in the morning. So, it's,
He wants to know what the audience sees, and he's like, "Let me sit back and see what's doing." The last two episodes, and I only got to see part of this last one, but was talking about the occult and Satanism, and this recent one, especially the darkness. Have you noticed this about the Satanists? They're very shy and timid, and for knowing the dark arts, it's like, yeah. And I was talking to Satan the other day. Have you noticed that? It's interesting.
it is. It's Satan is, a very understated entity,
Hmm.
He moves in the shadows, in whispers.
I see.
So but yeah, no, I wanted to get even crazier. I was like, can I put a little bit of my blood like in a dish and maybe,
Hmm.
if Craig drinks it and something happens, they didn't take me up on it, but I was trying.
Did you get into, was it ever fascinating to you, Satanism, growing up? The idea of it. The devil, because I was raised religious, the devil was very interesting to me.
Right. I was also raised religious, but I think very quickly, like I just saw it as like fake, didn't take it seriously,
Yeah.
and the idea of the devil was very silly to me. And like I remember my church that I went to like youth group and stuff, and one week they were like, well, we're gonna bring in different people from different religions, and they brought like a rabbi in, they brought like a Buddhist priest in to like talk to us. And I was like, I think this is doing the wrong thing, because the rabbi was talking about, well, you guys believe in hell but we don't, so if you want to say there's a piano in the middle of the room and walk around it, then sure, but I'm going to walk straight through it. And I was like, I think he's teaching me that this is all bullshit.
Right.
Like, yeah,
Right.
so I think they really got the wrong idea with that, of what they were going for. I don't know if they meant to like come and show us the other side and then we would double down on being more Christian or something. It did
Right.
not work that way for me. So,
I see the people that believe in ghosts and magic. Picking on me is a big word, but kind of pick on me for not believing, not being able to put my brain out there. But I think that would be only opening yourself up to Satan, right? It's like Freddy
right,
Krueger. You got to believe in him to give him the power. He gets no power from me. I think he's a fucking bore, if anything. There, I said it. I'm not seeing like
right.
shit. I'd be if I was Satan, I'd be doing shit. You know what I'd be doing? I'd be doing it where you watch a football game, you and a buddy, and I'd make you both watch two different things. Then that starts a fight in your house, and I did that. I'm Satan. This guy's not doing anything.
Yeah. I know. And I even think like I've had conversations with people, especially around the ghost thing, and like friends that are really into it. And I'm like I'm not into it. I've just never seen anything, like people tell me these stories, but I've never had a story like that. Every time they do tell me a story like that, it seems to be explainable by something else, but
Right.
I'm open to, a ghost can come say hi to me, and they'll
I'd
be like,
like
well,
it.
no, because yeah, they're like, no, they wouldn't do it because they know that you're like skeptical of it. Like, so they're not gonna approach you. I'm like, well, what am I
If you
supposed
do,
to do then?
if you do it, I'm gonna believe you. If there's a
Right.
fucking
That's
ghost in front of me, I'm not like maybe the light reflects. I'm like, I see you, motherfucking ghost.
yeah. Fucking slime me then. Like, then
Right.
I'll believe you.
They all think they're Jesus, these ghosts. Like, I don't have to prove myself to you. I'm like, well, what are you
Right.
doing?
You
You're
have to
so
have faith
busy.
in the ghosts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I believe. Come. I believe. I'm ready. I want. And then you talk to people that are into magic, and they really. If I was really into magic, I wouldn't give so many people a pass on what magic is. And I think magic people want them in their fold, so they count anything as magic. Like Kate, when you were thinking of Liz, and then Liz called you, that's magic. I'm like, okay, then it's everywhere. Then what the fuck do you got? Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's manifesting. I think there are kinds of like I felt it was kind of magical that I ended up in LA. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, I went online and bought a ticket and got
Oh,
on
the
the plane and
magic.
showed up like but I don't know how to describe
I
the
got a.
manifesting element. Like it started as a dumb, voice note that Craig sent, and then it turned like just things started happening. I mean,
Right.
it's us doing things, but like a manifestation of an idea that became something real. And then I'm in the same room with Craig Klein, and it was like, wow, I'm really fucking here, and you really are Craig Klein.
You're everything I saw and heard. Yeah, I got an exit rope for under $15. I'm like, that's magic. Look at this. Yeah, I
They
remember.
really do start doing that. You're sitting there. I got airplane stories. You're sitting
Sure.
there in the terminal, and they fucking nickel and dime you
Yes.
now. All these fucking Spirit Airlines and all this shit. Every bag, every fucking whatever. You want to look
Right.
at the stewardess when they talk to you. You got to pay extra $10. But they don't sell out all the seats, so they're like, we have extra emergency row seats for as low as 15. I'm like, just give me one then. Why are
Right.
you fucking trying to sell me on it now?
Go
Like
by height or go
only
by somebody's weight.
$15.
Yeah.
Yeah, only $10 now. Any takers? $5 now. Like, what is this? An auction for the plane? Like, I couldn't believe it.
I do remember talking to a woman, and she said, I said, yeah, we should meet up or whatever. And she's like, yeah, manifest that you come here. I'm like, oh, manifest the ticket. Okay. Hey, it worked. Hey, it worked.
I mean,
How long were you there?
it's about energy, you know?
Right.
I flew in Thursday night and then flew out Monday night.
Okay. How do you
Yeah.
like it compared to what, Austin?
Yeah, I mean, it's not like we did a lot of sightseeing or anything. It was a lot of kind of just working on the show and hanging out, you know, just spending time there. But I mean, I liked it. I liked my experience for sure.
Did
Um,
Was he watch in the little group chat I have of me, Adam, and Craig? He's a big sports shit talker. Sports you never knew he liked ever in his life. Apparently, who's in the
World Series,
World Series? Yeah,
the Dodgers and the Yankees,
yeah. So
LA Dodgers, right?
you would think he's a New Yorker if anything, but no, because Adams is really into the Yankees, he's got to do the opposite. And because the Dodgers happen to be in LA and he's in LA, he's like, I'm going to count that. I always loved them. They're my favorite. And so he
Well, he's
sends mess.
actually a Royals fan, the Kansas City Royals, but
Oh,
they're not in it, so LA is close enough, I guess.
oh,
So
you would think by these messages he has a LA tattoo or of the Dodgers or something. Believe
I
me.
don't know that he doesn't.
and and so he does all this shit talking, and I notice he actually I don't think he loves the Dodgers so much as he just wants the other person to be upset that their team lost. I wake up to fuck the Steelers messages from him. We have nothing to do with his division. We have nothing to do with his happiness. But he really likes going all in. Did he watch any game when he was over there with you? When he started shitting from a hot tub. Hey Adam, go fuck yourself. Yankees suck.
Yes, we were watching the game. And that was kind of cool because we could like see where the game was being like it was in LA. So like
Okay.
we were watching it on an iPhone, in a hot tub, but then you're like, "Oh, it's actually happening over there," which is kind of cool. And I think that added an energy to it with like the game happening in the city you're in because then later when they did win, and I saw him send this kind of mean message to Adam. But then there's like fireworks going off in the background and stuff. I'm like,
Right.
okay, that's kind of cool. Like they won like right here.
When do you think for a second like, look, I guess everything's fine. I don't know their dynamic over there, but this message might be a lot.
It was a lot.
That's funny.
It was a lot. I mean, I've been part of the shit talk, we've shit talked
Of course.
football, whatever, whatever bullshit. It felt pointed
Right.
in a way that other stuff didn't necessarily.
I
So,
think Adam got a little upset. I thought this was funny. The other day was the Steelers and the Giants,
mhm.
and we didn't hear any shit talking of any kind from Craig. And Adam figured it out. And we think that it's because I, of course, am into the Steelers. The Giants are Adam's team. He didn't know who to shit on more. So he was just stuck. We got away with enjoying something. Huh.
The
Hmm.
conundrum. Is
Yeah.
is either team better for to lose for the Chiefs? He could have gone with that.
He doesn't think that through. You know that.
You know.
You know that. A bunch of flags on during that game. More flags than the UN. It's like, are we playing flag football over here? But very exciting. The Steelers, of course, won. If the like your Titans is your team, right? No, no,
Texans.
Texans. I knew it was a dumb name.
It's easy to confuse because the Titans actually used to be the Houston Oilers, and then that team got relocated to Tennessee, and then we got a different team with a much worse and stupider name.
Thank you. Okay, that's easy to remember. So both your team and the Steelers, if the playoffs were tomorrow, we'd be in it. That easy. That easy.
There you go. Yeah,
So
my team has been doing uncharacteristically good this year, so.
yeah. Did you wish it is weird. We say this, me and Chris back and forth on the phone every game. Like, you ready for murderball? You ready to watch these guys? Do you ever feel guilty watching these
No, what
people
am I going
die?
to feel guilty about?
Right.
The one that I felt bad about, I think we were watching that game together, was like they knocked over the guy holding the down marker
Yes.
and he banged his head bad on the grass. And I'm like, this guy's just like he's not even like he's kind of in the ref clothes, but
Right.
he's just like the fucking old volunteer man that like
Yeah.
likes to work the chains or whatever. And he just got plowed over by, a 200-pound linebacker or whatever.
And then
Like,
the camera keeps moving. The announcers don't say a thing. Okay.
right, right. But then eventually it gets to such a long time that they have to fill time. But it's just so terrible. Like everyone try, oh, that's not good. I really hope he's okay. As he's
Right.
like down on the ground, like they're trying to wake him up real quick so they can get the game going. They carted him off as fast as they could possibly get that golf cart off the field.
It might have been this last game. Giants players were like, he might be dead. They wheel him off, and then they go, "We heard backstage that he wiggled his fingers." And then the other announcer's like, "You love to hear that." All right, second and one. Like, okay, I'm sure everything's fine now. All
You
right.
love to hear signs of permanent brain damage.
You love to hear his fingers can move, so I'm sure they'll take it from there. They're trained in this business. All right. No, it is. I can't imagine. They need to put cameras in the helmets of these pro games, especially pro football, to see what these freight trains coming at you live looks like. It would be amazing. You wouldn't go, "Oh, could he have gone for it?" It's got to be like wearing a VR helmet and you don't know what's behind you in a game, and you turn around and it freaks you out. When you have like you're running with the ball, you got past one guy,
Hmm.
another guy's surprised, yeah, you got past him. Then you turn to your left and there's 17 guys in your face. You're like, I think I'll step out now. I think people would understand that more instead of being like, why didn't you tough it out? It's got to be so. What dreams do you think football players have? The fucking night terrors they must constantly be having.
God.
Our guy, the receiver, Pickens, fucking fantastic superstar. Anyway, he catches the ball in the end zone, lands on his left foot. He's in the air, lands again on his left foot, goes out of bounds in the back, doesn't get the touchdown because his other foot didn't go down, and the announcer like is kind of saying, why didn't he acknowledge that? Why did we have to tell him? And they go, you don't think he knew that both feet were down? Motherfucker doesn't know what planet he's on. Here's the ball, catch the ball. Let your body go limp if you can. He doesn't know where he's at. What do you mean he tried to trick at you?
That's such a weird argument. Like, hey, ref, both of my feet weren't like, fuck off with that
Right,
commentary.
right.
Like, what is that? Like, yeah. No, the craziest thing, like to me, I think I've said this before, like the pros I don't feel bad about, but when it's like I do watch college football, and that one I'm like, they're really kids and they're going out there
Yeah.
and bashing each other's brains in. Like, I mean, they're the brain bashers of the world. So
Right.
what you gotta let them. It's just like
Right.
when you talk about these dudes that do infantry, like somebody's got to be infantry, right?
That's
So
true.
let them
That's
be
true.
infantry,
Right.
So yeah,
You
but you do feel kind of bad because they're these like 18, 19-year-old kids. Like you got a kicker that just gets laid out and destroyed. It's like all he wanted to do was kick, and now he's got a brain hemorrhage.
it was during a football game I was talking to Chris, and Chris saw an ad for that movie Smile 2, and he goes, "Who is this bullshit for?" And I'm like, "Oh, geez, I don't know. I'll
For
probably
Keith,
fucking be there."
apparently.
For me, apparently, at least the first hour. I didn't go back yet, but it's not like I'm gonna forget my place. She's traumatized. Everybody's smiling weird at her. I get it. I'll remember when it's time. I just saw this movie on Netflix called Don't Move. It's number one on Netflix. That never means nothing, but it got my attention anyway. And I'm like, it made me think of you. Like, who is this for? And I'm thinking, I don't know. It's for a person who just got their head smashed face first into the turf. Person who could feel their gallbladder. That's who this is for. She can't move. Oh, she's peaceful and quiet. Good. A little. Let me. That's who it's for. It's horrible. Is my point. Um,
It's for
I
people to do dishes behind or whatever, right?
yes.
Like that's got to be what happened. But like that I like the Netflix I actually get because people just put Netflix, but like Smile 2, you have to manifest a lot to end up in the Smile 2 theater. Like that's a lot
Right.
of magic. That's a lot of dark magic to wind up sitting in Smile 2. Like and not even any kind of clever tag. Like it's just Smile 2. Like bullshit 2. Like really, like I don't know how Smile 1 happened. And 2 is something you're telling me is a thing? Like I could not believe it. The only thing more shocking is like the anti-trans political ads during football games, which are
Oh,
like so god awful, dude. Like I think I sent one to you. I'm like, can you fucking believe they let this on TV?
well,
It's
here's the thing.
insanity.
Here's the thing also. I happen to listen to the Breakfast Club. In that ad is Charlemagne the God and DJ Envy, the two main people. And
Right.
and they're talking about, no, I wouldn't want my money going to changing my kid's gender without me knowing when they're in second grade. I heard that. I heard when they said that. No, they went, yeah, I wouldn't want this happening, but it's not happening. And
Right.
this is ridiculous. And they turned that, and Trump turned that into an ad that it seems they can't get taken off. They both swear they sent cease and desist orders. I believe it.
But that only
But
means that's only
there
a
you are.
threat to
Right,
go forward legally. So I think they just said, okay, election
right,
days in 8 days, so go forward legally. Let's see when that
right.
happens. Yeah.
You mentioned Netflix, and people put on these shows and they do the dishes and stuff. Rod brought up this point on one of our VIP shows. My problem with the movie The Substance, the Demi Moore movie. Otherwise, I loved it, but it was one of those movies that kept telling you what just happened. Like, for
Oh, right. You
example,
said
halfway halfway through the movie, as a get the fuck out of here gift, Demi Moore's character gets a book wrapped up. Like, hey, we're saying you're too old. Get the fuck out. Here's a stupid book. Then later in the movie, she's going crazy because of the substance, and then she looks over and she sees this thing wrapped up, and so she's going to open it. And we're going to see what it is and how insulting it is. But then they cut to in the back when the guy says, "We got you a going away gift to spend your free time." I'm like, "Motherfucker, I was there." And then they keep showing the rules to this drug, and it's like, you have to be your other self every 7 days. I'm like, I know, but I guess that's for when people watch it on TV, right? And they change oil and stuff.
Right. Don't feed them after midnight. Don't get them wet. Don't.
It is the Steelers and Giants. It's funny how good the Steelers are, but when they play a worse team, we really go down to their level. We're like that. We misunderstood that Bruce Lee saying about water. We go down to your level. Yeah, I thought it'd be interesting if there'd be a special on TV, and it's the worst pro NFL team against the best college team. And everybody thinks it would be a blowout because NFL, of course, is the best of the best. I don't know. I think the Steelers would play
Play
down to
down.
them and then do their best, then really fight for it. Maybe they like showing their blue collar, but I don't know. I think it'd be interesting.
Yeah. I I think it would be a blowout for the NFL. The- Of course. I don't even think it would be close.
I tell you, it'd be get
I'd be
ratings.
I
I
would I would
think.
watch it, but I would watch it. There'd be great ratings, but I really do think. I mean, you're talking grown men, and it's like in college, some of them will be pro, but in
Right.
pro football, everybody's pro. So, and also grown men versus like not even developed kids. Like, I just don't think
But maybe they
it would
have
be
better
good.
bones, the kids. And by the way,
Well, maybe.
how about we do this and get rid of the Pro Bowl? That bullshit.
Sure. Sure.
Oh, he ran away from me. No, he didn't.
And how about this? The stakes are that if the college team wins, they all get guaranteed to get drafted onto an NFL team,
Yeah, I
even if
think
they suck.
right. I think the college team would be willing to do it in a heartbeat. I think it's the pro team that would be like, "But who's to say what is the worst?" Actually, I'm like, by the
Right.
numbers, I don't know. That'd be a little embarrassing, I suppose.
And there's no upside to the pro team. Like either
Right.
you beat children or you
Right.
look horrible. Like,
You're a dipshit either way, real jackwad.
but I was gonna say, I've been watching Agatha. You've been watching that too, right?
Unfortunately,
There's a part in there where they do what you're talking about, but it's kind of a switcheroo, but it's such an obvious one. They're like, and her son went missing and
yes.
could do magic, and you're a
Right.
random magic missing person.
Right.
But then you're like, you're laying it on so thick
Right.
that now you're telling me it can't be that. Like,
Yes.
like,
Wanda had two children. Yeah, I know.
right,
Weren't real
right,
necessarily, but okay. Yes, and one could move fast and stuff, and the other one could read minds like you're doing. Oh,
right.
okay. All right. Jesus Christ. I love it. Do you ever, when a movie doesn't over explain something and you're like, oh, I get it, I feel like I'm a fucking genius. And it's never anything so clever, but I'm like, yes,
Right.
I get it.
They let it happen. Yeah.
Yes, of course.
And that's the art is being able to do that subtly enough, but where if you get it, it adds layers, but if you don't, you're
It doesn't
fine,
matter. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You heard that perhaps that Tom Brady is now part owner. He has a 10% stake in the Las Vegas Raiders, him and one of his buddies.
Okay.
Active players are prevented from owning or investing in NFL teams, so he's not going back. He faces a number of restrictions in his role as a broadcaster on Fox. He is forbidden from accessing another team's facility, witnessing practice, and attending broadcast production meetings virtually and in person. Does that does that affect how you
He
call a
can't
game?
attend broadcast production meetings
You think
in
you'd have
person
to.
or virtually. I think that affects your ability to do the show.
He's also not permitted to criticize game officials and other clubs. Everything looks good out there to me. What are your thoughts, person who can talk and doesn't own part of a team? The coach is doing what the coach does, and the other coach, well, that's what they do. I don't know. It's crazy out there. Who's to say?
I'm gonna be listening extra because what can he even go? Interesting. Like when the guy from New York like cute comes in on this is how the rule works, and that's why I
Right.
think that's a good like Tom. You just notice Tom Brady's completely silent.
I
Like,
guess you can. He can pick on. He can make something, say something negative about a player, but he can't about the club in general. So he can't
ah,
say the Steelers aren't doing a good job with their crew, but you could pick on the way Pickens caught a ball. And
okay,
you can't pick on the referees at all. If
right.
it's like, well, that's an obvious bad call, Tom, don't you think? I wasn't there. Well, actually, we have HD 5K super cameras. We're kind of more there. I don't know. I think maybe it was taken out of context. While
It's
these
tough. I see all sides of the call.
right, while these restrictions were already in place since the beginning of his broadcasting career in summer, due to his pending bid, fans are now claiming that they should terminate Brady's contract. He's also not, being so great. He's not beloved a lot around America, and now supposedly he's in trouble because during the Buffalo Bills Seahawks game, Buffalo won 31-10. He said about the Buffalo's quarterback and how this guy can be hot and this guy can be cold. And he says about Josh Allen, quote, sometimes he played like a spaz, like a grade schooler on a sugar high, but now he's controlled the chaos. He's like a storm coming into town, and you don't want that storm coming into this town. Now, you
Was it
weren't
the
going to.
word spaz they got mad at?
It's the word spaz. It's derogatory, short for spastic. It's funny. This paper says has spaz as a slang term and is abbreviation for. And then they have the word spastic, but there's an asterisk over the a. Oh,
But
but
they
you could,
didn't bleep spaz?
but you could say the short one, I guess.
What the
And
hell?
and and
Well,
people,
that's interesting because I encountered that as a slur through British friends that I had, and I think
hmm,
in British English, it's considered much more derogatory, like more of a, I mean, I don't, maybe nowadays it's becoming understood to be more of a, mean term.
Right.
But I wonder because the NFL plays these games like in other countries, and UK is one of them, if
I
they're like,
see.
you can't be saying spaz, they don't like that.
I wonder. And then people are up in arms. I don't know. It's how would you know until you know it?
Sure.
I wouldn't know that until someone went, "Hey, this is a thing. Lizzo has to change part of her song." Okay, now I know. But when people get up in arms on social media, like I'll read some, I was like, "Come on, you don't mean it. Let's
Right.
mean things we mean. The Tony Hinchcliffe bullshit, Madison Square Garden. We
Right.
mean that. You don't mean you
Right.
didn't know this fucking brain dead idiot didn't know you can't say the S word."
Right, and he fully contextualized it like of
Right.
what he was meaning. Like a kid hopped up on candy, like he meant chaotic. He didn't mean like he's out there spasming, like,
He's like a regular MS character of some kind.
Right, exactly.
This person says, "Did you hear Tom Brady call Josh Allen a spaz?" That's funny. When you complain, you can rate it. In the first half of today's Bills game, somebody said on X, highly offensive to people who have physical disabilities as well as their loved ones. Another one, I think he said
Highly
Josh Allen.
offensive to all us spazzes.
Right. Not to me, but I could picture being offensive to those that who have.
That's
I
true.
think
Trigger warning.
I think he said Josh Allen has to just not play like a spaz, which somehow seems even worse to me. Sickening that word is even in his vocabulary. Thankful for the mute button, the third one said. Do you know how mute buttons work?
Yeah, they didn't mute it, did they? Oh, they
It's
mean on
already
their own
done.
TV. Yeah.
Yeah,
When
it's
I go
already
back to
done.
watch it again, I'm going to be muting that part.
Brady really just said a player played like a spaz. Ew. I think people just hate him. That's what I think.
Yeah,
And
and it's the terminally online type thing of like just policing every like they're not in it'd be one thing like I honestly wouldn't even be that mad at somebody if they said, "Hey, by the way, like this language is
of
kind of
course,
evolving, like this term has this origin. I don't know if you know that. Tom, I'd love for you to like remove it from your language for this reason." But like they're just looking for a call out a lot of times
yes.
it feels like, and so that's the part that I'm like you're just out to call somebody out.
Right. In 2022, artist Lizzo had the song Girls. It's been brought to my attention that there is a harmful word in my new song Girls. Also, when they do that, I'm like, even if you have to use asterisks, can you tell me what the word is? Because
Right.
I always think it's a
Teach me
lot
the
worse.
lesson here. Yeah.
Right. You have to find out on your own, but I learned. Let me make one thing clear. I never want to promote derogatory language. Well, we learned that. Beyonce used the derogatory term for spastic diplegia, a form of cerebral palsy, in the lines "spazzing on that ass, spaz on that ass." It's a shame too, though, when you find the perfect words and you got to
That
change
is
them.
cool though. Yeah.
Giselle Bundchen, Tom Brady's ex, pregnant with the jiu-jitsu instructor we heard about on the Tom Brady roast. Good for her.
Oh, that's funny.
Expecting the first child with boyfriend Joaquim Valente. They were dating since June 2023, 7 months after she finalized her divorce from Tom Brady. Look at that. Good for everybody. Good for
Wow.
everybody. When you were coming back on the plane, when you had the delay, you mentioned what was the problem? Did they say a software issue?
Yeah, so we're like sitting at the gate and like they're not saying anything, and like the time we're supposed to board passes and then the time that we're supposed to have taken off passes, and then the TV's like behind the counter that says like your flight, and the whole
Yeah,
time it keeps saying on time.
yeah.
It then they just go blank. And so then everybody starts going to the counter like, what the hell? And then finally they make an announcement like, we haven't gotten the clear yet. When we get the clear, we'll let you know. So then later they say the gate is changing and all this. And it wasn't until finally we get on the plane that they say, this is a different plane than you were supposed to be on. Your original
Okay.
plane had a software issue that we
Oh,
couldn't take off because of. Yeah.
the, I've had, of course, delayed and canceled flights. What I noticed they did in my occasions, they left it on time,
Uh-huh.
screen up on the phone, like flight attendant or whatever these apps are that are unrelated, to they're not Delta per se. They say it's canceled. Sometimes the bartender or the a waiter will know they have inside information somehow, but they keep it on the screen. And then when they take it off, they left. Like they know it. They're
Mm.
like, and undo it. Go, 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 go. Leave, leave. There's no
Yeah.
counter to go to if you didn't check in earlier for some reason.
Right. Well,
They're little
these people hung
tricksters.
around, but they didn't seem very helpful.
Uh,
Um,
It's a software issue. John's looking at porn again. We have a software issue. We're gonna turn it off and turn it on. And we're back. The ride might be a little bumpy. U.S.
right.
airlines supposedly are now required to refund passengers automatically if their flight is significantly delayed or canceled. The Department of Transportation says the final federal rule requiring that airlines dole out refunds, not vouchers, went into effect Monday. Passengers deserve to get their money back when an airline owes them without headaches or haggling, says the great Pete Buttigieg, superhero. The rule says airlines must refund passengers affected by significantly changed flights within 7 business days if they bought a ticket on a credit card, within 20 if they used another form of payment. The move has faced pushback from the airline industry, who says, come on, what? We sell too much shit sometimes. And the holiday season is coming up.
Yeah, well, that I had heard that there are like planned delays sometimes. Like there's a flight that is known that it's going to get delayed every time because they want to schedule it for a certain time because they know people want to book at that time, but they just know the plane will not be able to leave the airport until an hour delay. But instead of
Yeah.
scheduling it for that because less people would book it, they schedule it earlier and just delay it every time, which that feels total bullshit, you
Yes.
know? And I
Yeah.
think that's what this type of thing is trying to combat, you know?
Hey, so I'm gonna need my refund, and then they go no, and then I go, oh fuck, all right. What am I gonna
Right.
call up
Well,
Pete?
call Pete. Yeah, call Pete. I know. And then that was the other thing that pissed me off is they do all this delay and all this bullshit, and then you get on the plane and it's still like, don't forget you can buy Wi-Fi for $15, but if you want to actually stream, what am I gonna do if I'm not streaming?
Right.
I get Wikipedia for $15 and streaming for 18? Like, okay, I guess I'll do streaming.
Yeah, they get me too.
But I did stream and I watched the Steelers game, so
It's worth it. It's worth it. I saw, by the way, speaking of Liz, I of course just recently got back from Charlotte. I saw where the let's say the flirting began. I was talking with me and her. I was talking on the show about the Squid Game reality show.
hmm
And then she wrote me, no spoilers. I just have opinions when you're current. I of course knew what she was talking about, and that's when we hit it off. I said, "Oh, I'm caught up, all in." We got a straight up text. I have so many dumb thoughts. I only give this number to serious Squid Game talkers, in parentheses, you. There's my phone number, and there was the magic. And we have an
Wow,
anniversary date of some kind.
that's cute.
Very exciting. Top movies, by the way, number 1, Venom: The Last Dance. I'll see it.
When are you
Smi-
going to see it, Keith?
I'll see it. I'll fucking see it. I'll probably see it tomorrow. Smile 2. I saw the first half.
And you
Uh,
showed me this graphic. Smile 2 is like a 60% drop off or something
yes.
from from
From,
from when it went from 1 to 2. It's like 60% less profitable the second weekend. That's
but
a hard drop.
But you wait until the next week when we had a break and
Right.
the rest of us finished the second half. They're going to be like, what?
Right. That's what I was saying. Smile 2 is how many tickets you have to get through it.
Right.
Yeah.
The Wild Robot is number 3, a kids movie. Conclave is number 4. I think they fuck kids. Number 5 is We Live in Time. Me and Liz saw this. It looked like a romantic movie. It is, with some heartache in it, and they kind of fuck with time, which I usually don't like, but in this case I did. And they go different parts of this couple's life: cancer, falling in love, having a kid, breaking to your partner that you don't want to have a kid when they do. We were crying. I love this movie. We Live in Time.
Okay.
Highly recommended. Highly recommend. And I I printed out some people's reviews. My God, this planet. I don't know what's going to happen in November. I really don't. Listen to some of these reviews for We
Oh
Live in
no.
Time.
Keith, I'm trying. Come on. I'm
It's a
just
gr-
trying to make it to Tuesday, man.
it's a
Come on.
great movie. People say I'm too hard on movies, and I'm telling you, this was fantastic. 1 star. Boring, dark, depressing. Yeah, she has cancer. Fell asleep twice. If you're looking to be depressed, this is a great movie. 1 star. It's a good storyline. A little hard to follow, but worth seeing. It's not hard to follow. You'd have to be so fucking stupid to be watching, being like, "Oh, she's pregnant. Oh my God, it's another scene. Where'd the baby go? Oh, she's fat again." It doesn't. It's not tricky. There's nothing confusing about it. One star did not understand the movie at all. At all. It's a very simple movie.
And I
Confused.
don't understand the intersection of the people that are so dumb that they can't understand this movie, but want to write their ideas on like I don't want to
Right.
write anything, and I think a lot about a lot of things, and I rarely am like, I want to write this out and put my thoughts into words. Like that's effort. But you want to
Right.
do that and you're that dumb?
So these are the reviews for We Live in Time, 78% on Rotten Tomatoes, 86% by citizens as opposed to critics.
Mm.
2.5 stars, confusing, disjointed. The broken timelines make it difficult to follow. And you're only following one couple, by the way. The broken timelines make it difficult to follow. And overall, I'm disappointed in what could have otherwise been a great movie with a beautiful story. In this case, the storytelling let the fail the story. 1 star. I did not like it. It was very visual. A lot of puking scenes. She's pregnant and she has cancer. Different things
Was
happen.
it a lot of puking, Keith?
No, it's not a horror movie. She's
It's
she's
not
about she's
Terrifier.
doing something. She's a chef. She's in some big competition. She's trying to hide this cancer and she needs to use the bathroom and pukes a little bit. That's it. A lot of puking scenes and naked scenes, and the ending was terrible. I wanted her to live
Puking
forever.
and naked. Yeah, exactly.
Kinda 2 stars. Excuse me, 2 stars. Kinda underwhelming. I was waiting for something to happen that never happened. 1 star. It was
Okay.
slow paced for a movie and like jumped back and forth with time a lot. 1 star. I
The
like the
title is the title is Time, and
the
I don't
title is
like all the
time,
time antics.
and the ad is clear that they fuck around with time. 1 star. I liked absolutely none of it. I walked out after 35 minutes. The timeline jumped around so much. Who could keep up with any of it? Surely not me.
Okay, I was talking to our buddy because I flew out of San Antonio, so I met up with our buddy Sean. You know Sean, right?
Sean, my pal, yeah.
Yeah. So he was telling me about we were talking about walking out of movies. I don't and he asked me, he said, "Have you ever walked out of I don't think I've ever walked out of a movie." You know? No,
Right,
you asked me if I've ever walked out of a movie. But anyway, it came up with Sean and I were talking and he's a walker outer, you know?
right.
And he was like, "Once you rip that Band-Aid, man, you'll never go back," you know? I just don't know if I can like my brain won't like I'm like it's god awful, but I just have to see this through even if I was the one time I almost did, I was by myself. That's the only time I really could see doing it because if you're with
Well,
somebody,
that's the
you
only
know,
time I
it's
would do it. Yeah, honey,
right,
no.
right. But yeah, like I don't think if you walk out, you get to write a review. I think you
Right,
exchange that privilege when
I
you've
agree.
chosen to save the rest of your hour. You don't get to write a fucking 1 star review
Right.
anymore.
No, I will see the second half of this bullshit movie. Don't you worry. 1 star. The movie didn't help me feel connected to the characters because of the choices that the mom made about choosing cooking over her relationship. You dumb fuck. That is such an important part of the movie. Why she does this cooking challenge despite having cancer. She wants to be a person and not just a mom. You dumb fuck. She wants the daughter to know that she did great things when she was alive. You stupid asshole. They make that
Imagine
very
dating these
clear.
people.
Yeah, imagine dating these people. Well, you should have been there for your husband. How? What would she have done for him? She would just be around not cooking. 2.5 stars. I like the
You
movie.
chose using the restroom over talking to me. I don't know what to tell you. I had to go.
Right. Right. I want these to lead to their Instagrams, pictures of their family. I want it to lead to their Facebook political posts.
Right,
These
right.
reviews.
Yeah.
2.5 stars. I like the movie. It has a good plot and the chemistry is amazing. But I hate the disorder of scenes between the past and present. Like sometimes it makes no sense. Eyes rolling emoji. One
Great
star.
movie, except to the part of the movie that was the
Right.
movie.
That's
Yeah.
in the title.
Yeah.
Did not like the female lead's character at all. By the way, she's lovely. Left the theater after 1 hour. I have not used this account in years, but I had to rate this review. Just boring, meaningless waste of time. Half a
I need to
star.
see their other reviews.
Yes.
The
Slow,
person who
sad.
reactivated their account.
This guy thinks he's clever. Half a star. Slow, sad, not worth our time.
Oh.
Half a star. Walked out of the movie. Disturbing topic. Yeah, cancer. Disturbing topic and very disoriented. Oh my god. Oh
I
my
left,
god.
my head was spinning when I left that movie. I didn't know what was up or down. I
Jesus Christ.
thought, am I going to get home before I get in my car? How does time work
Is this a
anymore?
cross between The Godfather and Pulp Fiction? I can't follow a fucking thing.
Don't give them memento, their heads will explode.
I'm seeing. I saw an article about Nicole Kidman is in a movie coming out called Babygirl, and it looks kind of like Secretary or 50 Shades of Grey. And so
Uh-huh.
she's married, she's successful. There's a new intern coming to work. There's going to be some kind of power play of him taking over, this woman that really has it together, her business. Nicole Kidman has shared that filming sex scenes in the forthcoming movie Babygirl were so endless that she had to pause shooting. In the new movie, Nicole plays a powerful CEO who risks her career and marriage with on-screen husband Antonio Banderas to have a passionate affair with a much younger intern who turns her life upside down. Kidman revealed that performing sex scenes with Harris Dickinson, who plays intern Samuel, became too much to cope with at one point. Now, you tell me if she's a little goofy. There was an enormous quote, there's enormous amount of sharing and trust and then frustration. It's like, don't touch me. There were times when we were shooting where I was like, I don't want to orgasm anymore. Don't come near me. I hate doing this. I don't care if I am never touched again in my life. I'm over it. It was so present. I was so present all the time. For me, it was almost like a burnout. So she's have. I guess this is that what do you call it? That acting where like you really live the moment,
I
right?
don't think she's really orgasming. I think
That's what
she's
it sounds
saying,
like.
I know at first I was like, what? But I think she means like, I got tired of performing an orgasm.
Okay.
But I don't know. I'm curious where this goes. I find it interesting because actually on Rod's show recently, he did an interview with this intimacy coordinator, um,
Okay.
that was like somebody on film sets that like
Hmm.
manage those scenes and like make sure the actors feel safe and like everything's above board, and if any kind of like stuff does surface and they feel some kind of way about it, they have somebody that they can kind of talk
Yeah.
through it all and like set all this up.
I
But
tried
but
to I tried to have my coordinator talk to the other person's coordinator. Like, is she talking about me?
I think there's just one for the whole
Okay.
set, you
Oh, then
know.
I'd find out
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah. In a
But it's
recent,
funny
yeah,
because
please.
she did say she had to, like, she's been part of production. She didn't name names, but she said she's been part of productions where like the directors and stuff like wanted to do stuff too much, and she was kind of having to shut things down for the sake of the actors. Like,
Mm.
okay, you get one more take and then this is done because you're doing too much. So I don't know. I wonder if, but it's Nicole Kidman, so you think whatever she wants typically would go.
In a recent interview with Vanity Fair, Nicole explained that although she felt vulnerable during the filming process, she also felt incredibly safe thanks to on-set intimacy coordinators.
Look at
I,
that.
I knew Helena wasn't going to exploit me. It's the story I wanted to be part of and I wanted to tell. Fucking the interns is a story that does need to get out there. She's right. Nicole added, being bored with your husband is a story you got to be clear. Every part of me was committed to that. There was an enormous caretaking by all of us. We were all very gentle with each other and helped each other. In her director's statement to the Venice Film Festival, Helena said that the affair at the heart of Babygirl allows both main characters to play out their confusion about power, gender, age, hierarchy, and primal instinct. I'm going to guess they just fuck. That's what I'm going to guess. Uh,
Primal Instinct.
we'll see. We'll see. Yeah,
Well,
take
you're
him.
gonna see it, right?
I mean, if you're orgasming too much in a movie, I guess I mean, I don't know the line between
I
movies and
gotta see
porn.
the take that stuck, you know? Like which
Right.
one did they use, you know?
Oh, there was a break after this. Guaranteed. That didn't
They
cut to her
stitched
in a
two
car.
together.
Yeah. Yeah, so I guess tomorrow I got to see that movie Venom. Then I guess time-wise cuz they try to stagger it so you can't really sneak into movies, so I'll be able to
Ah,
sneak into this one cuz I saw the first half. We'll see. The very first Venom 30% by critics, 80% by regular people. Big difference. And
okay.
I like the first one. The second one, Let
The
There Be.
first one, but the second one was god
I
awful.
hated the second one. Let There Be Carnage. I hated it. I also hate superheroes that fight somebody that has their same power. Venom and Carnage are the same character. I don't give a fuck. I didn't care for Spider-Man and Venom. You're both Spider-Man. I don't like Superman fighting other Kryptonians. I'm like, we get it. Y'all fly and you're indestructible. Even Logan. It's one Wolverine fighting another Wolverine. Who gives a fuck?
Right.
Get clever. Get clever. That's why X-Men in general is good when they have superpowers and they work together and other people with different superpowers. Come on. Come on. So hopefully the bad guy isn't
What
another Venom.
what X-Man did you want to be?
Who was cool when I was young? I like. Oh, I know. The French guy,
Gambit.
Gambit, Gambit. He
Mon
was the
ami.
coolest. Yeah, yeah,
He's Cajun, but yeah.
yeah. He was a cool cat.
Yeah.
You?
It's a good one. I was always a fan of Beast. I like
Okay.
Beast because he's scientific, he's cerebral, but he's got brawn, but he rarely resorts to it.
And it's fun to hang upside down like a bat for no reason. Helps you think.
Exactly. He's so cool. Kelsey Grammer. I mean, come on.
But hello. And I guess I liked Cyclops. Just the look was cool.
But he's kind of a tool.
He seems like a tool now that I'm an adult. Yeah. You find out it's sad. It's sad. Like I loved Poison, the band. Then I started growing up and seeing Bret Michaels interviews, and I'm like, what a fucking dork. Damn it. Jesus
So now
Christ.
you did a whole fucking dating show? God
Right.
damn.
Oh fuck. We for a second we talked about this on Kid and the Girl last show, but for a second now we brought up the Tony Hinchcliffe thing at the
Yeah.
uh, Klan rally. You saw Jon Stewart make reference to that. What did he say?
Yeah. Yeah, so he
This
did
is,
a
I'm
whole
sorry,
bit about it.
to be clear, this is the racist jokes that Tony was saying. He's saying now it's taken out of context. What the fuck, what? He said
And
Israel and
it's not,
Palestine.
by the way.
Yeah, of
Yeah, I
course it's
watched the whole
not.
set. It's racist as fuck. Like, it'd be one thing if you did it in your fucking comedy club. I'd still call it like not. It's hack too. Like,
Right.
none of it was like that funny. Like, do racist shit, whatever, but make it funny. Like, it wasn't.
He says there's garbage in the middle of the ocean. I believe that's called Puerto Rico. Guys, hello, hello. Oh, you're Americans too? Okay, I forgot. Then he talks about solving the Israel-Palestine conflict. They should do a rock paper scissors. Palestine, he says, of course, would throw rocks, but these Jews, they don't like to throw paper. Hello, anybody? Hello, hello.
Right.
Yes, it
And
was.
it wasn't even a hello anybody. He kept like doing that fucking annoying thing where he's like, "Oh, you guys don't like that one? You
Yeah,
guys are a real groany crowd." Like it's like you couldn't even play that at the fucking Trump rally, dude. Like
right,
they're groaning at you and giving you shit for this because even they know it's a fucking bridge too far. Like
right. What did Jon Stewart say about it? Being a comedian himself.
yeah, it was funny because he covered that whole thing and he was like, they got a roast comic to do this, and he's like, I mean, as far as a roast comic goes, it's pretty par for the course. And then they cut to I forget which roast it was, but he makes some Jewish joke about Jeff Ross, and then he makes some slavery joke to Kevin Hart,
Right,
and then when they come back from that clip, Jon Stewart's like kind of holding back laughter. He's like, am I wrong? I think the guy's kind of pretty funny, like
right.
kind of putting him in this positive light. Like, and
And
I
for the
guess his whole
record,
thing is, yeah,
just to jump in, for the record, I enjoyed Tony on Tom Brady roast a lot. I was laughing at all
right.
that shit. But
I've
yes, of
seen I've
course, it's
seen
a
his
big
Kill Tony
difference.
stuff. Yeah, like
Yeah,
exactly. I've seen his Kill Tony stuff. Their club is in Austin. It's the fucking Joe Rogan mothership
right,
thing that he came to Texas to be not woke anymore. And like I have friends that have been there. I've watched a bunch of their stuff. They're very on the like we're not woke thing, and it's kind of cringy to me. I'm like, can you guys just fucking do the jokes? Like, do you have to like be so about how this is free speech and we're
right.
sucking each other's dicks about it? So that's really the thing that cringed me out about it. But again, to me, what was so egregious about it is that you're going to a political rally, you're doing these racist jokes for these fucking racists, like
Hmm.
knowing that they're getting off on it because you know what I mean? It's not because you're doing free speech and you're the society's jester and
Right.
you have to push the boundaries. You're on the fucking team that is kill Puerto Rico. Like, you know what I mean? Like
Yes.
you have to know that, or like, so
Right.
that's the part of it that didn't sit well with me. And it very much felt like Jon Stewart was kind of making that comedian apology like move of like, well, he's a comedian, so I'm defending comedy. But then the second half of his section about that was like very coming down hard on Trump for that rhetoric. So it's like you're fully acknowledging that one of this is completely dangerous and vile, but you're giving the comedian that opened for it a pass because, oh, at the end of the day, it's comedy. Like, to me, once you enter that political realm, you're fucking part of it now. Like, you could have stayed
Right.
at the club and done those jokes and whatever. And even if you are pro Trump on your show, like, even that is like, I mean, it's shitty, but it's different than going to the rally and doing this shit. Like, you know?
Is it so that he can still be friends with these comedians? Did it seem like that?
I don't know that element. It felt like he was defending comedy, and he felt
Mm.
like he had a very philosophical stance and he was trying to stay consistent with that. But I don't know. He's done, I remember it's funny, I can't watch that show now, and every time there's some kind of voice bit where he does something and he's like, and
Right.
10 years ago I would have done the voice, of this. So like he acknowledges like some level of like, you know, you can't be, some things are a bridge too far even for comedy.
Right.
And so it just reminds me of the Wyatt Cenac show from Keith and the Girl, where he talks about a writer for his show like approached Jon Stewart like, you're doing racist voices and I don't think you should be doing it, because he did like a minstrel type black voice or something, and
Right.
Wyatt like uh confronted him and they got into a huge blowout, and it ended with this writer like leaving the show and Jon Stewart like doubling down on he should be able to do these voices. And now you watch the show and he's like, oh, I can't do the voices anymore. And it's like,
Right.
did you ever call Wyatt and give an apology then? Because like you seem to have learned a
Right.
lesson. Yeah.
I just looked up that show. It's episode 3383. It's called Problem Areas with Wyatt Cenac. Yeah, check it out. It also makes me think of another show if you have Keith and the Girl VIP. Episode 3837, the 2024 attempted assassination of Donald Trump with Megan Keister. Yeah, I'm getting older and I don't know, I'm looking at John a little sideways, to be honest. To be honest.
Yeah.
How about I say
Well,
it the way John says? I'm like, what can I say? He's pissing me off a little bit.
right. And then I think he gets this pass because at the end, he has like this black woman correspondent like come on and basically like roast him for like a whole long
Okay.
bit. So
Right.
it's like, oh, I got put in my place,
Right.
and
Right.
like I think that's kind of how they're playing it. It all
I get
feels a
you.
bit off with him. Yeah.
I get you. All right. So once
It's like
again,
he knows he's the old guard, but he's still clinging to Monday. And he signed a
right.
whole new contract, apparently. He's going to do Mondays for another year.
Okay. Episodes again to check out if you haven't heard them. 3383, Problem Areas with Wyatt Cenac, and Megan Keister's fantastic. That's episode 3837. Oh, by the way, uh, going back to movies and movie reviews real quick, I finally saw this movie, Longlegs. It's a horror movie, still in theaters, like number 20 on the charts, but you can rent it for like $6. Man, I don't know why I keep trying to give horror movies a chance. They never have to make any fucking sense, and it's not until the very end they just tell you everything that's going on in 5 minutes. Like, actually, this is Satan's in these dolls, and people gave these dolls, and now Satan's in everybody's house, and everything else you watch, by the way, means nothing because there's no way you could have fucking guessed and figured it out. But I did enjoy this one review that I saw. Here's a good review and a bad review. 5 stars. I love Nicolas Cage's bizarre character. By the way, this is true. I googled why is the and I'm going to type why is the movie called Longlegs? I don't know. I saw this movie. I don't know why it's called Longlegs. I got to why is the MOV and it autocorrects. Why is the movie called Longlegs? I'm not the only one who didn't fucking know. And then I see the movie Longlegs is named after Nicolas Cage's character in the film, and he doesn't look like he's supernatural, by the way, whose name was chosen because it sounded good to the director. The name is not meant to have a significant backstory or meaning within the movie. Okay. Okay. But anyway, here's the reviews. Here's a good one. I love Nicolas Cage's bizarre character. This is an intimate thriller that could have had part 5 and 6. That's why those movies that go part 1, part 2. And I don't like that because that just reminds me I've been watching for a while. Like, we're on part 4. Jesus Christ. The FBI
Chapter
agent,
9.
right. Or make them very, very short. So I'm like, we're burning through these. The FBI agent nailed it in the opening scene. Now here's the review I like. 3 stars. Legs weren't long enough. 3 out of 5.
And that even got three at least.
Right, right. And I can't tell if that person's joking or not. The show is called Five on It. You want to be part of that? It's fun. It's live. You can call in, see what's doing. When's the next show? What's the next topic? What's looking?
Saturday, oh, I should have had that date chambered. This Saturday, folks.
The second, November
Yes, November
2nd.
2nd. Yes, stop.
You got,
Sorry, my
oh,
Google.
your
My...
Google's putting it in the calendar.
Um, yeah, so it'll be Saturday the 2nd. Pam Schaefer, who was a surprise guest on 2 weeks ago episode, but
Yep.
she'll be back, and she's a therapist. She has a podcast. We'll be talking a lot about kind of mental wellness, that kind of stuff. It'll be an interesting show. Check us out at Five on It Live. You can Google us on YouTube and subscribe to us there. We're also Five on It _ live on Instagram because we took too long to get the right handles. So, that's how that works. But what I will say is, remember our friend who posted, is the show just going to be this now?
Yeah.
I've like when Keith does movie reviews. Friend, if you don't give a glaringly
Thank you.
great review to this show, we talked a lot about movies. So, we went
When?
back to what you love.
Thank you. When do clocks go back? It's this weekend sometime.
It is. It's sometime soon. So, yeah, I don't know how that's going to affect our show. Do all the midnights stay where they are? I think some of them don't.
So
I
you have
think
to do.
Arizona doesn't move. Shout out to pizza.
Okay, so there's 3 territories you guys have to do an extra hour for. And then, well, I'm not really sure how daylight saving times works, but I will. This is your reminder that it's coming up, and I'll tell you what I do. Sometimes I save my time. This is a clip with me, Chemda, and Jesse Joyce, and I'm trying to explain to Jesse how I save time. I have, by the way, I have about like 28 hours saved up right now. Anyway, you'll see what I'm talking about. Chris, thank you so much for your time. Anything else the audience should know?
Well, we're about to jump into the chat here soon. If you ever
Yeah,
been to katg.com/chat, come hang out. It's a lot of fun.
there you go. All right, thanks.